Lucky Lefty Podcast, Honora Boys in the building, brought to you by Honora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. LL Nation, Lucky Lefty Podcast is on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that share button, hit the notification bell. The thumb that goes up, smash it. Help us out. It's because of you guys. We're fat man. We are briskly approaching 4,000 subscribers. On
we almost there now.
Almost there. It's because of you guys, man. LL Nation. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. Audio edibles every day. Apple Podcast, Spotify. You know where we reside. We reside on CFB Nation, and it's presented by Twisted Tea. Yeah. Some bowl left. Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. El Paso, Texas, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish against the Oregon State Beavers. We're going to hear from Notre Dame players. They talked about Steve Angeli. They talked about the offensive changes and how crazy of a season it was and what 4 for 40 means. So we'll hear from some of those players. But we had a real, I wish this is why we're having the Patreon. And this is why we're going to start the Patreon on LuckyLeftyPod.com coming up, because Left and I have some of the best conversations pre-show.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And to keep it a buck, sometimes we're like, do we really want to get into this on the show? Because, it's great conversation, but we want to keep everything centered around Notre Dame. So if we can find a way to connect it to Notre Dame, we'll talk about it. But it's like, if we don't, save it for another time. And that's why coming up at the start of the year, Lucky Lefty Pod, Patreon, man, it won't be Nightcap. We have to find a new name for it, but
it won't be Nightcap.
We won't be like Uncle Shannon. It won't be like that, but it will be some very interesting, shall I say, some very interesting conversations. Now, today we talked about, I will share this, right? Because will the transfer quarterbacks end up dirtying up everything to pave the way for the 3 wise men at Notre Dame? That's what I'm going to call them. And this is how we're going to start the show, right? If Notre Dame cannot develop a dude out of Kenny Minchie, CJ Carr, and Deuce Knight, we need to have an all-out meeting to figure out what's wrong. Flat out. It is a huge problem that needs to be discussed if we cannot develop a dude out of those 3 guys that are going to be in the building. That's a problem, Left. And it comes from the conversation we had. Go ahead.
Kenny told me that he believes Gino has taught him a lot and put him in a good position of growth. And he doesn't feel like Gino's not getting better. So hopefully that translates to the field now. We get an opportunity where it's kind of wide open until obviously Riley Leonard gets more in the picture. But from a perspective where I was telling Kitty, I'm like, positionally in the quarterback room, you have everything the game.
Yeah.
You got CJ behind you, Deuce behind you. Steve's 50-50 in my opinion. I don't think this game changes it. I think he's halfway out the door. So you got the most years at the youngest time in your career there to take full advantage. Like it's your job to lose, essentially.
So discussion. This is how. Let me just throw you the alley-oop. Our discussion pre-show was, in a capitalist world, someone has to be crummy, more than likely, to establish generational wealth. It's hard to find a story of generational wealth in a capitalist market or a capitalist system where somebody at the beginning didn't do something crummy to
Yeah,
set things up.
somebody in your family, if you're rich right now and you got some wealth where you just always been rich, thank whoever was in your family first that was like, I gotta do something not in the rule books to put us on top. And it worked. So don't think that everything was just, climbed up the ladder the right way. There's people that in your family that do, but they're eating off of the person that did it wrong. Believe it or not. Yeah, now 5, 6 generations down, it may be clean. Y'all just inheriting all this wealth and greatness and just thinking everything started with y'all. But there was somebody in the beginning that somebody had to go down. Somebody had to
Mhm.
take the fall. Somebody got robbed. Somebody maybe even had to be taken off.
So we have kind of reconciled. We have kind of reconciled, left that the crummy is the fact that Notre Dame has had to go to the transfer portal 3 times as a big time college football program. That's the crummy part. But hopefully, the crummy part, like you said, will lead to generational quarterback play over the next decade for Notre Dame.
And I think the only way you do that is a commitment to the transfer. Can't tell me that 1 year is a commitment to anything in a program way. Riley Leonard being the 1 year is not a commitment to what needs to happen at Notre Dame. Riley Leonard being crushed by somebody behind him in that quarterback room playing better or using that as a stepping stone to elevate themselves in that quarterback room, I think sets the tone for what establishes a good quarterback room.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to get jumped. Somebody got to get taken over because that creates that competitive airness in the room. Ian deflated the room. After Ian got over Brandon with some politics that helped, there was no more chasing the guy. There was no more rabbit in the race. Everybody got fat in the room and became co-workers.
Wait a minute. I want to make sure I hear what you're saying. Are you saying that the previous regime became comfortable with that type once they won and got to a college football playoff with that type of quarterback? They became comfortable feeling like we can do this or we can duplicate this without going after the big time quarterbacks. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it went from Squid Games in the quarterback room with me, Ev, and Brandon, and Deshaun, and Tommy Reese, and Hendricks, to workaholics with a bunch of coworkers that were just happy for each other and friends that were cool with nobody being better than the other. And unfortunately, that deflated the expectation of the room where there was nobody to chase.
Mm.
There was nobody to chase. Ian was just sitting there, and Phil had a potential, but Phil's whole thing was you know, a different route. But that could have restarted the room. Somebody got to not be liked in the room. If I was Steve,
Mm.
I would have taken the approach of I don't like Sam Hartman.
Break that down for the fans because I kind of like that. I kind of like that. You said somebody in the room has to be disliked.
Yeah, like it happens every year. When my first year, in my opinion, it was Tommy, even though it was a little buddies with Hendricks and all that, but they didn't feel like they could overtake Tommy. I felt like I could overtake Tommy. So I didn't like
Mm.
Tommy. But watching him and it made me better and all of that thing. And then, Ev came back, and Ev is his own cat, just on and off the field in general. So you're gonna love or hate Ev, which is a great thing for the room because I loved Ev as a teammate from his unwillingness to uh, not push it to the edge. He was
Yeah.
talented. He played well. We had kind of similar games, so it was always trying to find the edge over a guy that, he had aspirations himself. He wanted to be best quarterback in the country, all of that stuff too. So that was a good motivation in the room for me and Deshaun and Brandon and all of that. And then we had our years, me and Deshaun, where, we wasn't the best of friends, but it was good for the room in terms of it was only two ways it could go. You either going this way or we going this way. It can't work both ways. That's just not the environment at that position. And then so it goes through its transition, but through all of that, you get the undefeated season, and then you get 4 years of Ian with potentials of playoff hopes and champ. So through all of what we went through, you get Ian and you get a nice 4 years. But after Ian, it was just back to deflated. I think it worked. I don't think Tyler Buchner took hold of the position well enough, because I think he had a great opportunity to really stop the transfer portal in his tracks. I think Brian Kelly set it up for Tyler to do well. You know what I mean? And bring in Jack Cohn in the right way, in my opinion, where it was like, okay, Jack, you coming in, but we're playing our room. We really want our guy to jump you. So regardless of what you're doing this year, he's getting time to try to be better. Now you're gonna get your film now, Jack, because you old, and we, the whole season don't have to be on a 5-minute film session, so you're gonna get your time. But listen, if and when Tyler Buchner's ready, it's gonna be his team. And I think, him getting hurt and just never getting over that hump stem this whole transfer thing that happened. Because I do think he was in a good position to do that. And then everybody else in the room, I just thought were role players. It wasn't any X factors in that room anymore once Tyler left. And it still isn't until proven otherwise, So I do think that there was a fat catting of the office once they got their guy in there, but didn't plan for after his third year. Now, Phil did leave. I think they kind of had the idea of Phil being that push, but they didn't have nothing after that. So I think they just got a little lazy at that point.
That's interesting. That's interesting you say that, because most people have this view of the quarterback rooms on all levels, right? Where, oh man, like even now, it's gonna be great. Kenny, Steve, CJ, they can learn from Riley Leonard. And I'm like, dude, I don't want that. No, I need everybody coming for Riley Leonard's head.
Yeah, I just don't think this is the program to buddy in that standpoint, unless you just know your role. Where I think Marcus Freeman getting more familiar with the offense side of football should be like, look, Kenny, we got this guy coming in. I need you to know your role as the backup this year, and then be ready after this year. I think that's a different conversation, other than not telling him anything, bringing a guy in and leaving it open to you potentially being the guy. I just think that's running you in a circle. We all grown to a certain extent where we can be told this is the plan or this is not the plan for you, because I just don't think it's a point of ruining a kid's career by keeping him on it as an insurance plan. Don't have these guys and put on the shelf and break in case of emergency. I just don't think that's fair in the recruitment cycle, especially it being more evened out now that guys can transfer. You see a guy like Malachi Nelson not wasting no time. I don't know if that's spelling Caleb for coming back or Malachi not having a true vision of what's going on, So that can happen.
They went out and got a veteran in the portal. My problem is, man, these coaches seem like they're getting lazy.
That's what it is, yeah.
They think getting the veteran is going to make it easier that they can win 10, 11 games. Like, when did coaching, I mean, does the contract put the pressure on coaches that much that they would prefer not to do what they're asked to do, which is coach and develop, rather than getting products that have been in the game and you don't have to coach as hard or you don't have to worry about the mistakes? That for me is like, come on, man, what are we doing? Right? Because at the end, dude, next year, we said it, Notre Dame next year is going to have a first-time start. Not 2024, I'm talking about 2025. Eventually, you can't avoid it. Eventually, you have to coach a young team. Right now, this coaching in the Sun Bowl left, they have to coach an inexperienced offensive line, some young running backs, and a first-time starter quarterback. It is what it is.
Yeah, they ain't no fiesta for Marcus Freeman at all.
And the expectation amongst the Notre Dame fan base is to bang Oregon State.
Yeah, not even win, to bang on.
The expectation is the same. It's the same as if none of the players had opted out. Notre Dame fans expect to smack Oregon State. Period. Yeah. Notre Dame is 0-2 against Oregon State in bowl games. They lost to Jonathan Smith, the former head coach that's now in Michigan State when he was the quarterback. And then they got banged by Anderson, Ocho, and Hushmanzada and that crew in the bowl game. So this is like, yo, some get back. And Jadarian Price talked about that. He's like, yeah, we're aware that we're 0-2 against Oregon State in bowl game. So, like, yeah, for the program, this means something. Like, we need to get rid of that. But the expectations don't change, man. They don't change. So, you know, coaching for me is starting to take a back seat, and it's being impacted by the transfer portal. And I don't think people are really talking about it, because I think coaches are like, man, I don't want to have to deal with actually developing young players. Let me go get a bunch of veterans.
I only think it makes sense if you're a first-time head coach, like you got these guys at Nebraska, Wisconsin, Jeff Brom, bringing guys with them because it's their first year. They're trying to get their footing. I don't think there's an excuse for guys that have been there. You know, that's why I accepted the first-time transfer. Marcus Freeman's first year. We talked about transition year, all of that. But you doing it, but you've been in there now. So now the questions come. There's not questions to Jeff Brom about getting the transfer. It's like, dude, you just got there. I see why you're taking your team with you. There's no questions with Lincoln Riley when he brings Caleb over. But now it's going to be questions after Caleb's gone. Why you keep transferring guys in? Now, he can get away with it because he's produced Heisman. Marcus Freeman can't get away with it. Because of what are you going to say? LSU has a problem on their hands. If Garrett, in my opinion, is supposed to become the starter, and they got lucky because he was already playing before they got there. But I'm sure if he wasn't, I guarantee you Brian Kelly's in that portal. So for us, I think it's two timelines coming together where you're going to have to make a decision. Can't keep transferring guys in, and then you bringing in guys like Deuce Knight, CJ Carr. Who's going to win that battle? Because you can always justify a transfer portal over Deuce Knight. You can always justify it. But are you going to pull the trigger before Deuce Knight pulls the trigger and say, I'm out of here? Because Joe Milton just went to the league now. And you know Deuce really
funny.
Tennessee.
That's funny. Joe Milton opting out is hilarious to me, bro.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious to be like, bro, stop.
Really?
Stop.
Really?
What are you right? 5th round pick right now? You opting out of the bowl game? So you already know Nico is like Birdman behind the glass doors, like,
nothing to lose.
All right, time to put on a show. The $8 million man is on his way. And Josh Heupel was probably like, I'm cool with that. Go.
Of course. He probably wanted him to go. Because he holding up Josh Heupel's time as a coach because now he's like, I got this $8 million man sitting here. Joe Milton don't want to leave, and he ain't even playing that great. You know,
Fact.
Joe Milton was supposed to have the success of Jalen Milroe this year.
Yeah, it is. John Massey said he isn't that good to opt out. He isn't good enough to opt out. That's funny. Should there be a college football council that decides whether or not you meet the requirements to opt out of a bowl game? That would be dope. That would be like you have to meet these requirements in order to opt out of a bowl game. If you're not like second team, third team All American, or projected first 2 round picks in the NFL.
Before opting out became a trend, guys only opted out if they, because you usually get your grades from the NFL on what round you predicted. If you predicted first round, then you opted out. So what grade did Joe Milton get back? Because it sounds like he ain't listening to them reports. If you're getting a 5th, 4th round grade back, you opting out looks goofy. And I know you had to get your grade back from the NFL before you decided that. I know you had to. There's no way you didn't get that before you said I'm opting out. I know Joe Alt probably got his grade, was like, yeah, I'm done. Blake Fisher took a chance because he knows that he can rise because he's a Notre Dame lineman.
Yeah.
I just seen Aaron Banks, McGlinchey, Ronnie, Zach Martin. I mean, you frequently see those guys every Sunday. So it's like Blake Fisher's relying on a little bit of cachet in a mid, 3rd, 2nd round tier that maybe he'll boost up. That's good stakes. But there's no way Joe Milton got out of that thinking I'm a 1st round talent and decided to opt out. So opting out is corny to me, unless you absolutely need it. But if there was rules, Joe Milton wouldn't be able to qualify.
Dude, there has to be some baseline, right? Forget the portal, right? The portal needs changes. All right, we can talk about that. But this opt-out is getting ridiculous. Like the number of opt-outs, you have dudes opting out for Florida State. Like, okay, Jared Verse, if you want to opt out, I get it. How is Tate Rodemaker, who was the backup, transferring from Florida State and hopping in the portal, and he's supposed to be starting a bowl game? Like, dude, where we're at right now is absolutely comical. And it's funny because the only opt-out from Notre Dame standpoint that you can have a problem with is maybe Maris. Maybe Maris. I think Blake Fisher is going to go in the first 3 rounds of the draft. Purely off talent.
I think so too.
So he would meet that threshold if we formed a baseline and a threshold. Blake could have gone in the draft last year. He just wasn't eligible. I mean, not Blake, but Joe. He just wasn't eligible. All the other guys that opted out, it's like, or transferred, it's like, I understand why you transferred, or I understand why you opted out. Basically. And I think at a school like Notre Dame, it's rare that you're going to get the Maris thing is rare at Notre Dame. I think that's why it kind of shocked people.
Yeah.
Because J.D. Bertrand wasn't going to opt out. DJ Brown isn't about to opt out. No. Cam Hart. Okay, Cam Hart opted out. But Cam Hart, once again, is probably going to get drafted first 3 rounds. First 3 rounds, he's probably going to get drafted. And the injury history that Cam has had, if he wants to start to let his body heal from the season and ramp up for the off season and the testing, okay, we understand that. So it's a very difficult situation. So we're talking about, the transfer quarterback situation, and somebody in leftovers last night flat out. I don't want to use the word lie, but they misrepresented what you said, because you never said in my opinion, you never said that Riley Leonard couldn't improve. I believe yesterday you literally said Riley Leonard is what, one game better than what
No,
we
I was
have in the
asking
room?
people, what is Riley Leonard? How many games better is adding Riley Leonard compared to what we have in the room already?
Well, based upon what you said this morning, I'll say this. If you truly believe, and the track record has shown that it normally takes 2 years to get the full return on investment from a transfer quarterback, right? There have been guys like a Cam Newton that have come in immediately and changed everything.
He's not Cam Newton. Come on, now, come
Left,
on.
I wasn't saying that.
No,
Let me
I know
finish,
not. I'm
man.
just saying, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Cam Newton, okay, he's not Cam Newton.
But this is what I think is unfair, in a sense, to Sam Hartman and in a sense to Riley Leonard. I agree with your assessment about the 2 years, but Notre Dame, because of the restrictions, more than likely has to go after 1-year guys in the transfer, or unless they go after a kid that literally did 1 semester somewhere and they don't have a lot of things that has to transfer over as far as grades and classes. So Malachi Nelson might be a young man that they could go after, but why would they go after Malachi Nelson when they have the 3 young quarterbacks in tow that they have, right? So let's go get the veteran. It's 1 year. The return on investment might not be the same as a 2-year guy, or the 2-year guys that have had success, like a Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, and I get it.
Great,
But it's unfair. This is my point. It's unfair in a sense to Sam Hartman and Riley Leonard, because the expectation is, yo, win the championship. This is Notre Dame. The expectation is what it is, right? So
only if you're getting a transfer quarterback, it's not the expectation getting a running back or these receivers. It's only because the guy that you're getting in is not that much better, if at all, than what you got in the room. So
you're basing that off the 1 year. You're basing that off the 1 year, not the 2 years. Because if you had Riley Leonard for 2 years, you would feel totally different.
Who knows? You can make anybody, who knows? But that's not the case. And so it goes back to Marcus Freeman looking at the hot stove. If the stove is hot, are you going to go touch it? No. If you know the science of a 2-year guy, unless he's a generational talent like Cam Newton, which I don't think so, you need 2 years to really get the most out of it. Okay, that's the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can only do it in 1 year. Okay, what's the benefit or the return of investment if this is a business that we're getting from Riley on a 1-year basis? If you're guaranteeing that getting him is giving you a championship, that is the only success that you can get from a 1-year quarterback transfer. If you're not guaranteeing a championship, what is Riley Leonard's return on investment going to be for the quarterback room and for the program on a 1-year basis that the guys in our room currently can't do based on the easiest schedule we probably had in the last 10 years? This has nothing to do with Riley Leonard, the person. This has everything to do with a 1-year quarterback transfer. Let's keep it objectively. Take Riley Leonard out of it. A 1-year quarterback transfer at Notre Dame, if he's not a generational talented, bona fide, guaranteed, slam dunk #1 pick, how much better is he really than what we have in the room that we couldn't get out of the room in the same year, when this is the open schedule? This is one of the few years I would say for Marcus Freeman where I don't hold the championship expectation over him, because one, we've never, ever had this playoff situation before. So that's not an excuse, but it's a good fallback to say we don't know the journey of a playoff and what it's like going home and away, this and that, how to prepare, depth. Easy
Yeah.
fallback plan. Nobody, no harm, no foul. That's why you put a new quarterback in there. Because the next year, there is no excuse. Oh, you should know this is what you need to get there. And now you're doing it with a first-time guy. As opposed to, all right, we done went through the ringer. This quarterback, Kenny Minchie or Steve, they developed over the year, took us 2 games in the playoffs. Everybody is rallying behind them. We feel excited. Cool, we can go into next year. Expectations. This kid's a 2-year starter now. A lot of games under his belt, playoff experience. His young guys are playing with him now. That's a good pathway forward for the program. A 1-year guy, you're telling everybody we're winning it next year. We're all in, chips all in. So now the expectation, if you're not winning it, people are going to be like, why are you wasting time getting Riley Leonard? Why are you wasting time not playing these guys? Because all these problems that we're prolonging, kicking the can down the road. Because now the expectation is, okay, Riley Leonard, whatever happens, happens. We don't win, whatever. The next year, you can't have a quarterback go out there and look bad in your quarterback room. You just can't. That's a total failure of Marcus Freeman as a program. If 2 years from now, after this Riley Leonard experiment, we don't have we at square one with quarterbacks. Kenny Minchie can't play because he ain't got on the field long enough. CJ Carr not ready yet because he's backed up. He want to transfer. Deuce Knight looking to come in and play. He wondering what direction of the team is going. That's all the expectations you put on yourself by kicking the can down the road.
So basically what you're saying, remove Riley Leonard. You can put a name on the nameplate and just make sure it's a 1-year transfer quarterback. What you're saying, big picture, is you are clogging up the pipeline.
Yeah, you causing
and
traffic
causing
jam.
issues that you're going to have to deal with in the quarterback room, right? Because somebody could be playing next year, which makes CJ comfortable and which makes Deuce more comfortable when he comes in. But now waiting a year and pushing that back, now that can just
not
make things
guaranteeing
a
a
little bit.
championship. It's all good if it's a championship, okay? Because everything is
Okay.
good when you win.
Okay.
We get a
All right.
championship, Ryan. You the man. Everything that is set up for it to be cool, and now you got something to look forward to in your quarterback. Oh hell, we had a 1-year guy come in here and do the damn thing. Denbrock feeling great. We got good film to watch off of. Riley Leonard got all type of awards. Just a first-round guy in the quarterback room. That's something to look up to. We get a guy in here that's projected to do who knows God what.
I just think I think it's unfair. Me personally,
it's not
to the
unfair.
transfer. I think it's unfair to the 1-year transfer quarterback but it is what it is, Left. So it could be unfair, but it's not unfair because all parties involved know what the situation is. Like
exactly.
Riley
It's
Leonard
not unfair
knows
because he chose this.
It's national championship or bust. He knows that.
That's
I
what
hope he knows that.
Exactly what
I hope he knows that.
And who's benefiting more from this relationship currently? Riley Leonard or Notre Dame? Right now, currently, as we stand, the only person benefiting more, because there's no 50-50 relationship now. Even in your relationships at home, there's a 49-51 somewhere going on.
Right.
Notre Dame is on the shorter end of this stick as we sit today, with the prospective hope that he turns into something greater than I even think he thinks he's capable of. Because if anything, we should learn from history. We had the most decorated transfer quarterback. I think if Riley and Sam was in the transfer quarterback, was in the transfer portal together, I think we would still choose Sam. If Sam didn't have this year go through, and we're basing this off of last year, and Riley Leonard and Sam are both in the portal, I believe we still choose Sam. He's more decorated. It's the logical sense. So that tells me that this is a second tier guy. I don't care he's the best right now. He wouldn't be the best if Sam was in here. And we saw what Sam did for us. So even the most decorated, most experienced slam dunk on paper pick that you can get from the transfer portal, it didn't give us the results that we wanted. So what is getting the lesser of the two? How is that going to be better? I don't see it. Now, I see a better progression and a truer sense of a developed program with a Steve Angeli and a Kenny Minchie. Because the expectation is not necessarily a championship, but it's the expectation is to see development. I mean, this is the test of your program this year. Because we beyond the whole baby thing. Neither one of these guys are babies no longer. The only baby is CJ, which is good. That's what you want. None of these guys are babies. So this whole inexperience thing.
Kenny's not a baby. He's been through a full season. Yeah.
He's not talked. He said, I'm ready to go. I learned that he's not a baby, which is great. Because then it goes back to how much better can Riley be than these two guys? Come on, how much better? How much better? I don't know. Riley Leonard hasn't done anything for us to be like, oh, he's head and shoulders above Kenny and Angeli. How? I can see if you say Sam, because Sam 50 games and going in the record books.
Right.
In college, that's a record. What record has Riley set? He just had a decently good year. Not to Notre Dame's quarterback standards, by the way, but decently good year for a program that was starving. You talking about being hungry. You give them an Eggo waffle and some flank steak, they're going to call that Thanksgiving meal. But Eggo waffles and flank steak at Notre Dame, we're going to look at that, probably not even eat it. Yeah. So what are we talking about?
I think, man, it's a tough situation. And that's why I use the word unfair, Notre Dame fans. Dude, you step into a situation as a transfer, and it's like, yo, we brought you here for 2 or 3 big games. That's why you're here. Like, we can win the rest of the games without you or with another quarterback. And that's tough, man. Like, it's tough. Sam Hartman was brought in for 3 games. 3 games. And that's tough. That's tough, right? He went 1
It's not easy, but he didn't have to accept it either.
He didn't have to accept it. He went 1 and 2 in those 3 games. And that's tough. As I look at an easier schedule for Riley Leonard and a totally different playoff scenario, he's probably brought in for 3 games. Florida State, Louisville in September, and USC, because that's just one of your major rivals. And Riley Leonard is going to be judged on those 3 games. The success of his 1 year will be judged in Texas A&M, right? So I would probably say the 3 big games would be Texas A&M, Louisville on the Get Back Revenge Tour. And then you could flip a coin with Florida State, USC, because Florida State's program is in flux. They might not even be in the ACC next year. They might be an independent.
And the greatest misconception is that he's going to play good. Duh. He's going to play good through the season because we have the better team. And most 90%, 95% of these matchups, we're the better team. So Riley Leonard playing good through the season isn't discounting what I'm saying about him right now.
Yeah. That's tough, man. I'm sure the $2 million that you get when you come to Notre Dame as a quarterback via the transfer portal.
Well, what's tough? What's unfair and what's tough? Riley Leonard is coming from a worse program. He's getting more accolades, more exposure, more media attention, a bigger platform, a better team around him, better coaching that's going to put him in position. He got $2 million on top of it, an easier schedule. He's going to the playoffs at Notre Dame. He's already cleared as a I mean, what's hard? What's hard? That sounds pretty sweet. It's probably like he's going to get some. You already know he's going to get a Dove deal. You know, he's going to get some.
Right.
I mean, what is not sweet about Riley Leonard coming as opposed to what's sweet for us?
I agree, man. It's tough. Well, I won't say unfair. That's tough.
He's already getting Heisman first round pick projections. I mean, he's winning just because he said he's going to Notre Dame.
Facts. That's facts. I totally agree with you. And it's a tough situation, bro. Right? Like you said, 1 year. Hey, man, young man, you got 1 year. Expectation. Expectation is it's almost like Mission Impossible. If you choose to accept this mission, yo, it is what it is. You don't know how tough this mission is about to be. You have no clue the difficulties that exist in this mission. But if you choose it, hey, it is what it is. And Riley Leonard has chosen to be the quarterback at Notre Dame for 1 year with the same expectations. Here are your 3 games that you were brought in to win. Get us to this national championship. It is what it is. Before we switch over, man, that was a great talk about the quarterback room. We're about to hear from Notre Dame players as they prepare for the Sun Bowl, 2 o'clock against the Oregon State Beavers on Friday afternoon. And before we take the switch and get to some of your GTB questions, if you do have GTB questions, make sure you type in GTB, ask the question, or make a comment. We'll get to it towards the end of the second half of the show. I have a bone to pick with LL Nation left. As you know, I put up a poll, the LL question of the day poll. I'm amazed at how this poll turned out. And the question of the day was, steaks and prime rib are best when served, and the options were medium rare, medium, medium well, well done, and other. 54% of you said medium rare. Hey, man, I'm sorry.
Wait, medium what? Medium what?
Rare, medium rare won with 54%, bro.
One?
Yes.
What's the age-old adage? You can't eat at everybody's crib.
I can do medium, but that medium rare.
Medium rare? Like explain the science. Explain the culinary science behind it. Because you gotta, if it's good and it's better, okay. A man can try anything once. But you gotta tell me, what is it when it don't like for me, it's a vision thing, it's a texture thing, Sean. It's the way it gotta.
First of all, this is like somebody in the chat. Hold my shillelagh said, if you eat your steak any other way, you don't have taste buds. I just want to put this out there. You do realize, culturally speaking, you do realize that people have totally different taste buds. Like, this is a scientific fact. Right? So you can't prepare. Let's use chicken, for example, Left. If you're going to prepare, if you are a chef, you have to know the people that you're preparing food for. You just can't prepare food one way. So if you're frying chicken and you're frying it for an African-American family, you might want to season the chicken a little bit different than you would for a very
natural thing.
That is a natural thing. If you're preparing a steak for someone from Texas, the taste buds might be a little bit different. Like, you have to know who you're preparing it for. So to have the expectation that it's only one way to enjoy a steak of prime rib, it's like, dude, our taste buds are not linear across the board. Like,
my concern is a health thing. It's a health thing. I ain't never read in no health book where it was healthy to eat it red. I thought it was not good.
No, Troll Sniper said chicken is chicken. Fam, you could not be more incorrect. I don't know what chicken you're talking about, but chicken is not chicken, my brother.
Like,
no, sir.
What does that mean?
No, sir. No, sir. Chicken is not chicken.
Chicken is not chicken.
No.
I don't even know if chicken is chicken. What?
I will give more leniency to you messing up the steak than you messing up the chicken. If you mess up the chicken, we got some problems. We got some problems. That's funny. But man, I was shocked that LL Nation voted medium rare as the best way to enjoy prime rib and steak. Dude, it was amazing. Lucky Lefty podcast. When we come back, we go to El Paso to hear from Notre Dame players and some great things being said, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. We spin it different. We're back. Lucky Lefty podcast. ONORA boys in the building. LL question today is still up. You still have time to vote, man. Yo, steak and prime rib is best when served, and the options are medium rare, medium, medium well, well done, and other. Go to the YouTube page, subscribe, and vote, man. Did someone say salt and pepper on chicken is enough? Is that what was said? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. You guys are the best, man.
Yeah, we gotta see some pictures next time we talk about this. See what y'all really cooking up. See what's going on.
Hey, John Massey, that was a great alley-oop right there. John Massey said a great chef caters to his customers. A great OC plays to his players' strengths. Same thing. That's a dope alley-oop. I like how you did that, John Massey. I like how you did that. Left, Jadarian Price met with the media down at the Sun Bowl right before practice on yesterday. And yo, this is what he said about the quarterback, the first-time starter, Steve Angeli, and how he's been looking in practice.
A lot more confident since our opening game against Navy. He's been in a lot of games since we've been blown out a couple of teams. He's been in a couple of games, and you could just see the confidence in his eyes and his cadence and all that. And I've seen that from the pre-practice when we break the huddle, and just he's speaking a lot more. He's speaking to all the position groups a lot more, and we're all very confident in him.
So once again, another Dame player speaking boldly and confidently about Steve Angeli and how he's been looking in practice and saying we have confidence in him. It's good to hear that from the guys heading into the game, Left. It really is.
Yeah, it's good to hear them supporting their QB. I mean, it was kind of a dry compliment. I wasn't quite sure other than confidence, but I was telling Kenny yesterday, confidence is 80% of the game, because once you're confident in what you're doing, you see things almost premonition-wise. You see it before they happen.
So, man, I've heard from several people that Steve Angeli is really confident in himself and is a confident kid. And to hear Jadarian Price, and we said this, Left, this goes back to what I said. The quarterback I saw in spring practices and the quarterback I saw in the limited snaps in the regular season are two different quarterbacks. I made my assessment of whether or not I thought he could be the guy based upon the spring. Didn't see him in the fall because I wasn't around. But then I watched him in the games, and I'm like, yo, this is a totally different quarterback. He has a totally different level of confidence. And to hear Jadarian Price even point to that, saying, yo, his confidence has grown. Like he's a totally different dude playing with a totally different level of confidence. So, that's important. And like you said, in your conversation with Kenny Minchie, yo, confidence is the best thing. And a lot of kids come in with that confidence and just have to learn how to transfer that onto the football field and decision making. With a guy like Kenny that wasn't as heralded as the other guys, it's almost like a chip on his shoulder that he has to wear to kind of like spur him on to say, yo, I can be this dude at Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely right. And that's exactly what is going to carry him through.
So, yeah, it's going to be very important, Left, as Left handles Left. It's going to be very important. Like Jason Smith said, I do believe this, Jason Smith. I do believe that this is a sign that Gino Guidugli, who Steve Angeli said himself has been very instrumental with him this year. Gino is, very important in developing the quarterbacks. And Gino Guidugli spoke with the media yesterday, and he talked about, looking forward to working with Mike Denbrock, because he worked with him in the same position at Cincinnati. And he said they had a lot of success, and he's ready to extend upon that success from Cincinnati to Notre Dame. So, it is, like I said, Steve, out of the quarterback room, he was the least heralded, right? So Steve, it is a chip on his shoulder, right? But from everyone that I talk to, Steve feels like, I'm a dude. I should be the quarterback for Notre Dame. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I want him to feel that way. I want him to feel like, hopefully he does stay. And if he stays, I want him to feel like, this is my job. I'm the incumbent. I'm the one that started the Sun Bowl. I'm the one that performed in the Sun Bowl. Riley Leonard is going to have to come take this. I want him to feel that way. I want him to go about business in that way and in that manner. He absolutely should, but it's great to hear from his teammates, man, that even they recognize the difference in the confidence in this young man. It's going to be absolutely incredible to see him perform and perform well on Friday afternoon. Lucky Podcast. So that was Jadarian Price on Steve Angeli, and then we had Howard Cross, who is one of my favorite players of all time. And this piece of video does nothing but solidify how great of a representative for Notre Dame he is. He was asked about returning. He was asked about him and Riley Mills coming back. And then he was asked about, what it means to go ahead and get that master's degree at Notre Dame.
Obviously, first of all, like you said, I feel like I still have a lot left in the tank here. Then talking to coaches, our coaches and everything like that, I feel like I can really benefit from one more year. And the other side of that, NFL does stand for not for long, right? So I want to get my master's done, make sure I get everything I can get done at Notre Dame, because it's a great university, and get everything done going forward.
I'm sure you and Riley kind of made your own decisions, but when it comes out that he's also staying, how big is that to have both of you guys on the interior next year?
It's huge. I mean, we're both big parts of the defense, so both of us coming back just is a really good part or base to build a great offense next year. So
what were you?
Now, towards the end, I think he got mixed up because he said, they have a chance to set the base for a good offense. Maybe Howard Cross wants to play fullback next year or tight end. But yeah, Howard Cross is a fantastic young man. I'm glad to see him and Riley Mills playing in the bowl game and coming back to 2024 along with Jack Kaiser. And like he said, they're going to be the foundation for the promise of the 2024 Notre Dame defense. This is my question for you guys. We talked about bringing in Riley Leonard and how it might congest things in the quarterback room moving forward. Do you feel that way with Riley Mills and Howard Cross coming back at defensive tackle? Do you really feel like guys like Devin Houston, guys like Armel Mukam, guys on the interior, Brendan Vernon, do you feel like things are being clogged up with the return of Riley Mills and Howard Cross? And it's going to be an issue getting those young men on the field to make a difference next year at Notre Dame. Tell us how you feel, Lucky Lefty Podcast. All right, we'll get to your GTB questions. If you have a question or comment, make sure you type GTB and then your question or comment, and we'll get to it. All right. We go next to not Kenny Minchie. We go next to Eli Rarely. Some very interesting comments about the season offensively. And he was asked about Steve Angeli as well.
We have pretty much a whole new team. It's been weird with the offense. A lot of guys that our new faces, but the players and coaches have done a great job with all the distractions, just keeping focused and getting our work done. And I feel really confident about where we are right now. So,
what does Angeli bring to the table at the quarterback position? What do you expect from him on Friday?
Yeah, Angeli's been doing great. I only think great things of him. He's going to do a great job, and I'm very confident in him.
Oh, this team seems really confident in Steve Angeli, and I think some people in the chat have said it. Left, like he might be one of those guys that's just well liked across the board and throughout the team. He might just be one of those dudes.
He might just be a well-liked guy on the team. That bodes well for you in terms of chemistry. I do think it'll just turn out to see if that works on the field, because you're liked until you're not winning.
That doesn't mean a thing when he steps on the field, though. You can be well liked.
It means something, like the guys are going to work hard and block and all that, but you got to be able to do your part. That's what football is, a great equalizer.
Left, what is that, man? It's too early, man. Please tell me you're not drinking soda this early in the morning. Is that some type of juice or something?
No, that's just that Arrowhead water. You know that Cali got a little different water over here.
The first time I saw Arrowhead water when I was out there at Ralph's, I walked into Ralph's and I'm like, man, it's funny how, you see different things and it's regional.
Yeah, because it's not Ice Mountain's over there, right? Yeah, I got Ice Mountain.
But yeah, Dasani, Ice Mountain are the main Midwest plugs for the water. But that is crazy. Is it fool's gold in your opinion? Everything that you've heard from Notre Dame players about Steve Angeli.
Yeah, they say the same thing. At least they don't say he's a run first and he's going to get the first down by running the football. So his best compliment I heard was the first thing they said was, oh, he threw the ball deep. That was a good indication of something possibly to come. But they talk a lot about intangibles, nothing on the field after that. So I don't know what that means, but maybe he is instilling confidence in other players to play better. You could maybe take it as that, but I would love to hear about some on the field things that he's doing other than the prospective hope that he's going to play good because he's confident. Confidence matters a lot, but that's an individual thing. It would be better to hear from the individual that he's confident than to hear from other people, because you can't really quantify that. If they're out there like, man, he's out there dealing, like what you heard about CJ Carr, I'll be like, okay, that's something to lean on a little bit. But confidence, hopefully that just turns into support on the field from his teammates. But like I said, I don't expect it to be a 45-point, showdown. I think it'll be closer in the 20s. But I do think we'll win the game.
So you think it's going to be close? We're going to say your prediction until tomorrow, but you think it's going to be a close game?
Just because it's in the 20s don't make it close, because the other team got to score points too. I just think
you said a showdown. So when you said a showdown, I'm like, oh, okay, man.
It's a showdown because, it's everybody's kind of brand new. It's a showdown for Marcus Freeman putting on the coaching and development hat instead of the hat of dominance. I think you can dominate through playing technical and fundamental. I think that'll have to be on display. Us not getting ridiculous penalties that'll overshadow the bright spots of the game if we go in there and get 14 or 12 penalties on just mental error stuff, jumping off sides, holding, unnecessary roughness. That kind of stuff can put a damper on a game where you're looking for young guys to look pretty good. So hopefully that's not a factor in the game and we can see a clean game. I'm hoping for a clean game. If we have all our starters, Blake Fisher, Joe Alt, I would be looking for a dominant game, but I'm trying to be realistic and not put too high of expectations on a guy that has played well in spots but hadn't quite got his shot. And so I think, it's a good challenge for Steve Angeli to prove a lot to us.
I can see that. Lucky Podcast. Offensive coordinator for the Sun Bowl, play caller for the Sun Bowl, Gino Guidugli. Yeah, he was asked about his new left tackle. And this is what he had to say. Well, man, technical difficulties left. You know, from what you've heard about Charles Jagusah and his performance in practice as a true freshman starting at the left tackle position, you know, how comfortable are you that he's going to perform well?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's at Notre Dame. He's got some good enough fundamentals in coaching from Rudolph, and he's staying built up. And we have a nice history of linemen doing well. So all his historic signs point to Charles Jagusah having a good first showing. You know, usually all linemen get their flowers, get their weights and their credit as the years go on. I think it's a lot harder to see a guy pop on a greatness level other than as opposed to him getting exposed his first game. So as long as he's not getting blown by, especially by the third string defensive end or however it may have you, then I generally believe he'll have a good first showing. Is he going to be Ronnie Stanley and Mike McGlinchey his first game? Who knows? But as long as he ain't giving up crazy plays, he'll probably be all right.
All right, here, let's try it again. Gino Guidugli on Charles Jagusah.
He's a huge human being and moves really well for his size. And on top of that, like, the guy's a true freshman, and he just, you teach him, he reps it, he knows it, he can go execute it. And his ability to just take information and be able to apply it to the field, make adjustments on the fly, is what's going to make him special.
He's such a dude. He's such a bro. Like, you know.
Oh, Gino.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, dude. Like, yeah, okay. I just hope that his demeanor is a little more fiery when it comes to coaching, developing these kids. And you know, maybe it doesn't have to be as fiery, but a concerted effort to make it sure it's better than what it's been. However you get it done. And I think Gino Guidugli has I don't want to call it a laid back approach. I don't think he's laid back about his job, but a softer tone to getting his guys better, or at least more ready to play.
What he said made me feel really good about Charles. You know, I've already felt good about Charles Jagusah in this game.
Yeah, it's not. I think Charles Jagusah is one of those players you don't have to worry about. You know, he doesn't have to quite be talked about every day like a LeBron or something, but him not being talked about.
You always trying to slip LeBron in here, man. Relax,
I'm just saying him not being talked about is a good thing too. Because you know he's one of those guys you can not worry about and just know he's doing his job. And I think that's why he was a great pickup as a recruit, because you know that's going to turn out to be the product and the return on investment that you expect. You know,
that's that last parting gift from Harry Heastand, dude. That's that last gift on the way out the door. Like, I'm gonna leave you one great left tackle.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you with something you can chew on for 3-4 years to hold you over until you got to do it on your own.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. The most impressive thing for me is how quickly he picks things up, and I think that's what was able to allow him to shine in bowl practices, right? So from practice to practice, you saw this steady improvement from a freshman. And you're like, yo, his second practice is better than his first practice. His third practice is better than his second practice. Oh, snap, his fourth practice is better than all of those practices. And when you see that type of improvement and you see a young man that can apply what he's being coached on the fly, which sounds like before, skip practice to practice, we're talking play to play, series to series. This young man is improving. And now that he gets an opportunity to actually go out there and play, I think his first quarter or his second quarter would be better than his first quarter. His third quarter would be better than his second quarter, and his fourth quarter would be better than his third quarter. I think that's the improvement you're going to see from this young man throughout this game. That's what it made me feel like. Like we're going to see steady improvement from this young man and a really solid performance. I like it. Jaden Mickey, he has something to say about the defense. And
no, I agree with you though on the Charles Jagusah, like you said, like
yeah,
he's gonna be the product that we've expected. It's just I'm just excited. I think it's a very secure lock. I wish we would feel those same ways about all of our position groups. I think historically the tight end, O-line positions, running backs, you can just naturally feel pretty good that we're going to have an answer for you.
Jaden Mickey, 10 wins is huge. That's what he's letting us know, Lef.
Change the offense at all for him, or is it going to more or less be the same?
Man, I don't know. I definitely hit the wrong one. I thought I hit the right
Mickey
one.
got bigger now.
Right. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That is not Jaden Mickey. Let's
Change
see.
the offense.
Yep. Nope. Wrong one. But Jaden Mickey talked about how important it is to get to 10 wins, Left. He said, 10 wins is important. It's one game better than last year. And it might be meaningless to other people because we're in this bowl. But for us, we're excited. It's a move and a change and an improvement in the program. And we have to keep this program moving forward. And we expect to do that on Friday. So it's good to hear that they're playing with meaning and they're playing with confidence. And I love it. I absolutely love it, Love.
Absolutely love it.
It is one of the things that we look forward to with this team, seeing them play a clean game and seeing them playing with confidence and making sure that they show up, right? Let's get to the GTP questions as we get ready to get out of here. You guys have been fantastic in the chat. I disagree with you about that medium rare being the only way. I'm sorry, man. It's a lot of different taste buds, man. A lot of people, the texture of medium rare just does not agree with me. And I'm a texture person. That's why, as much as I love bananas, I can't eat banana pudding. The texture of it it messes with me.
Wait, you can't do what?
Yeah, I'm a texture person, Left. So like the mush of the banana pudding, I can't. And I love bananas, bro. I got one right here for post show. Love bananas, bro. Love banana now laters. Love banana shakes. Love all of it. But banana pudding, dude, maybe it's the way people make it.
Huh?
Once it gets mushy, I can't. No, I can't. That mushy banana, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't.
How do you eat pies?
What do you mean? How do I eat pie? I don't eat a lot of pies.
You don't eat any fruit pies?
No, the only pie that I really love is lemon meringue.
But how do you go from that, which is mushy? You
Pie
eat pumpkin
not mushy,
pie.
dude. Mushy is
Pumpkin pie is not mushy either.
dude. I don't eat pumpkin pie.
Sweet potato pie.
I eat every now and then. I'm not head over heels over sweet potato
cake
pie.
is mushy.
Cap.
Huh?
Cap. How is carrot cake mushy?
Because you
what are you talking about?
Because the carrots in it make it mushy. Plus, don't you put like nuts, almonds,
the carrots in it make it mushy. You do understand all the ingredients are put together and then baked into an actual cake, right?
But the carrot is strings though.
No. You don't have strings of carrot cake if you're doing it properly. You don't have strings of carrot cake in the cake. The carrot cake should be chopped up into fine pieces, bro. I can only tell you how my mother does it. I can't tell you how everybody else does it. I'm sorry, man. Eric Spadell, thank you for the super chat. You look so disappointed, Left. I'm sorry to disappoint you, man. He said,
I'm
"What's
just
up
like,
on the LL merch?" This is funny, and I really like the direction of the program. And I know 2024 will be a great season. Go Irish and happy holidays, LL Nation. You can blame me. I ruined everything over the summer. You can blame me. I take blame for it. I'm sorry, guys. The coverage not being able to be at fall camp, the shows not being on daily at the same time and hopping all over the place, the merch not being launched, everything. Blame me. I'm
but
sorry,
we
man.
learning. We
I
both
had to
learning. We getting our
I
consistency
had to
down.
go through what I had to go through what I had to go through. Fortunately, I'm good, but hey, blame me. I take full blame. I impacted everything. But the merch is on the way, along with the Patreon show and everything connected to LuckyLeftyPod.com. Appreciate you for that
That's
super chat, Eric. You ready for these? Who do you guys
ready.
think is dealing with more organizational negligence, Justin Fields or Cade Cunningham? Go ahead, Left. I'll let you take this.
Well, Cade's thing is, I feel like they both got struggles in the same areas. It's harder for Justin Fields than it is for Cade because Cade can control more as a player on 5 instead of a player on 11. Cade can influence the game more, especially as a point guard, than Justin's influence, even though it's very heavy. And the things that factor into it, there's more control in the basketball game. Cade was like, which he already has to. I got to get 40 a game. He's in control of that. Justin Fields ain't in control of play calling. He can only make it look better. And it's just there's not a synergy there because they don't want to coach his type of style. And I think, everybody can have the Lamar coaching approach that they've taken with Lamar, where they coached to what he was good at and they've developed it over time. And now he's a solid every year consistent winner, regardless of whether you get or not. He might even win the MVP this year. So unfortunately, not everybody has a patient enough coaching staff or front office that wants their guy like that. But Justin falls to the right place or doesn't look like his organization is going to help him out with the coaching staff anytime soon. So who knows? So I think Justin has the harder one. Cade's thing can change in overnight. Draft, guys get healthy. They don't have a bad team talent-wise. They just have poor management in the wrong spots. Like Killian Hayes shouldn't be starting. Damn near shouldn't even be in the league. Damn near shouldn't even be in the league. Isaiah Stewart's not big enough for 5. He's like a stubby 4, if that, because he's shorter. He's only like 6'6", right? He's just super aggressive. His style would have worked great in the Clint Capella 2015 era where he's just catching and putting back rebounds and stuff. But I think Cade, his situation can change overnight. Justin's situation is more like he's got to find the right fit. So I think Justin's is harder.
It's simple for me, Left. And see, this is a trick question. You know why it's a trick question, Left?
Why?
Because it's Chicago versus Detroit. See, I called it.
Yeah,
I called it. It's a trick question, Left. This is Chicago versus Detroit. And I don't know if they were trying to set us up, but I'm going to keep it a buck. The Pistons have back-to-back champions that span 89 and 90. And then they won again with a different cast led by Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, and the rest of the crew. They have championships. The Bears haven't won since 85, and the Bears have not developed a quarterback since Jim McMahon. Since Jim McMahon, the Chicago Bears have had no. Left. I'm speaking facts. Since Jim McMahon, the Bears have started 38 quarterbacks left in games.
But Rex Grossman was stable.
Rex Grossman was trash. Stop it.
Oh my God.
Stop it. He was
He
trash.
took that to the Super Bowl.
Yes. You want to sit up here and be critical of Riley Leonard, but you showing love to Rex Grossman?
Rex Grossman went to the Super Bowl.
He was taken to a Super Bowl. It's a difference.
Who was
It's a big difference. Rich Gannon went to a Super Bowl. Rich Gannon went to a Super Bowl. What's your point? Jim Plunkett went to a Super Bowl. What's your point? I can name a bunch of quarterbacks that went to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan went to a Super Bowl.
Matt Ryan's a Hall of Famer.
You need to quit. You need to quit. We can make a bet right now on this show. Matt Ryan would not be in the Hall of Fame. I'll take that bet right now.
Is Andrew Luck going to be in the Hall of Fame?
He shouldn't be.
That wasn't the question.
I'm just saying he shouldn't be. I would say no.
Andrew Luck's going in, so is Matt.
I would say no. Now you're asking if he's going to make it. You know how the media, if they love you, they'll put you in.
So how you don't feel like that?
Wait a minute. Does Andrew Luck deserve to be in over Ocho?
Ocho will get in. You know how they're gonna
answer the question. Does Andrew Luck deserve to be in over Ocho?
Over? I think they'll both make it.
Okay, who deserves to go in first?
Well, I mean, that's subjective because they pick and choose how they do that. But if it's in the right order, Ocho should go first, and then Andrew Luck should go, if not the same class. But
Thank you, Coach Vic. Thank you, Coach Vic. The Lovie Smith defense went to a Super Bowl. Thank you, Coach Vic. What are we talking about?
Notre Dame, it's like saying Notre Dame defense going to the playoffs.
Who was more impactful putting points on the board? Rex Grossman or Devin Hester?
Devin Hester. Rex Grossman.
Then. That's disrespectful. Like for your return guy to be more impactful for your team scoring points than your quarterback. Listen to what you just said, Lev. Thank you. John A1. Jake Delhomme went to a Super Bowl. What are we talking about?
Jake Delhomme wasn't bad in the years he had Steve Smith. What are we talking? Yes, what are we talking about? Steve Smith.
Jake Delhomme was an average quarterback, bro.
Steve Smith's a Hall of Famer. He was on his team.
Jake Delhomme's better than Rex Grossman.
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
Rex Grossman was up.
Left.
For that span of time, for 4 years, the Bears were going to the playoffs because of the defense, and Rex Grossman was very solid.
Left. Jake Delhomme numbers weren't better than Rex Grossman's.
Jake Delhomme, Jake Plummer, all them dudes during that era, you would have taken Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman was a Pro Bowler. Rex Grossman was a Pro Bowler.
Left, I know in your time in Ohio, you didn't see a lot of good quarterback play.
Rex Grossman was.
I know you have not seen a lot of good quarterback play with the Bengals, and I know. Okay, and the fact that you saw Rex Grossman, you probably were a little bit jealous as a Bengals fan because you thought he was good. But for the folks that are actually here in Chicago, Rex Grossman was trash. Left, he was trash.
He threw for 10,000 yards, 55.
Do you realize that Rex Grossman literally lost his job to Craig Krenzel? Think about that, Left. He eventually lost his job to Craig Krenzel. I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to let that marinate. He eventually lost his job to Craig Krenzel, bro. How are you defending? This is easy, man. The Bears have started 38 quarterbacks since Jim McMahon, dude. Are you kidding me? This is blasphemous, man.
You're telling me during the stretch of Rex Grossman, he wasn't.
I can't believe you're defending Rex Grossman, bro. I just can't.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to get an understanding here.
Jay Cutler was a trade, so that doesn't count. Sorry, they didn't develop him, and he didn't play that well when he was here. He was a turnover machine. So, like I said, the Bears have started
y'all have an offensive line with Rex Grossman? Let's
Are
talk
you
about
kidding
that.
me?
Let's talk
Reuben
about
Brown, his tackles were Reuben Brown and John Tate. What are you talking about? And Olin Cruz. Olin Cruz is a Hall of Fame center. What are you talking about?
that. We're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
Rex
Oh
Grossman
my
going
God.
to
Left, you are making too many excuses, my man. Go ask Thomas Jones if the Bears had an offensive line. Ask Cedric Benson if the Bears had an offensive line.
They had a run blocking offensive line for sure.
What are you talking about? Wait a minute. Do you remember that comeback? I'll give you the perfect example. You remember when Dennis Green, God rest his soul, snapped in post game after that Monday Night Football game, said the Bears are who we thought they were. So if you want to crown them, crown their A's. Okay? You know what he was saying? Can I translate that for you? When he said the Bears are who we thought they were, he was saying Rex Grossman is trash, and we knew he was trash. That's what Dennis Green was saying. What they didn't know is that we had Brian Urlacher and we had Devin Hester. That's what we had.
All I know is whenever he was fully healthy, he went to the Super Bowl for the Bears. That's all that matters, right?
No, because he didn't go to the Super Bowl. He didn't go to the Super Bowl the year after he went to the Super Bowl. He didn't go back to the Super Bowl.
He didn't play in every game. He played 8 games the year after.
Left. The
He only
stuff that
played
you were
half
saying
the
right
season
now.
last year. Huh?
The stuff you were saying in defense. Dude, Rex Grossman, hey man, look, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody out there knows where Rex Grossman is, please inform him that he has the greatest supporter. Okay.
He played 8 years for you guys, and you talk about that wasn't consistent for you guys.
He was 8 years bad. What are you talking about?
You don't go through 38 quarterbacks with an 8-year guy and say he was bad. He obviously isn't a part of that 38.
Okay, he was the worst of the he was the best of the worst. That's what you want me to say?
If you're the best at something, you can't be the worst at something.
You want me to read his stats from the Super Bowl, Left? Would you like to hear his stats from the Super Bowl? Where he was 20 of 38 for 165 yards with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. You talking about that, Rex Grossman? That's the Rex Grossman you want to cap for?
It's a different era of football then.
Here we go. Now it's a different era of football. So you still stand on the fact that he was better than Jake Delhomme, right?
I'm standing on the fact that he gave the Bears consistency during
No. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said he was better than Jake Delhomme, Jake Plummer, and all them Jakes. That's what you said. That's what you said.
I would take Rex over Jake Plummer, yes.
You said you would take Rex over Jake Plummer and Jake Delhomme. That's what you said.
Yeah, and Jake Delhomme. Absolutely.
Okay. Rex Grossman career stats, 25 and 22 as a starter. A career 55% completion percentage. Career.
You got to think of the era of football at this time.
Oh my God. Career 55%.
Jamal Lewis around those same years, Jamal Lewis is running for almost 2,000 yards for the Ravens. When that doesn't happen these days.
Left. The man threw for 10,000 yards in 8 seasons.
Yeah. Look, Patrick Mahomes got 10,000 yards in 3. Like, come on.
That's not even averaging 3,000 a season. Left. What are we talking about?
It's the not man
he had 56 touchdowns and 60 interceptions in his career. Left. Are we really? You still trying to cape for this dude? Jake Delhomme, by the way, 56 and 40, 60% completion percentage, 20,975 yards, 126 touchdowns, and 101 interceptions. Do you want to continue this? Do you really want to continue this conversation? You really want to cape for Rex Grossman?
I'm saying for the Bears.
Hey man, you need to get that little bit of. You need to take that little bit of Gator out of you, bro.
Hold on, it's not nothing about a Gator. He went to the Super Bowl with the Bears. When's the last time y'all done that? That's all I'm saying.
Jim McMahon went to the Super Bowl and won it.
But there was a lot of gaps between then and now, though.
I agree. All I'm saying is Jim McMahon went to the Super Bowl and won it.
Fair.
I just gave you Rex Grossman stats in the Super Bowl.
Compared to all those other quarterbacks that played with you guys had a full-time starter.
Hey, man, Bailey Brad said, look, Matt Schaub was even better than Rex Grossman.
I'm a fan of Matt Schaub. I didn't say Matt Schaub in that group. I thought Matt Schaub was good until the end.
Hey, man. Jason Smith said Luck must have met him at UF.
No, I'm just saying, right? Y'all act like he wasn't a part of Bears history on a positive
No, he's
side.
not. Bears fans want to forget him. I promise you. Irish Steel 63 is Marcus Freeman wanting one of his guys to jump over Riley Leonard. It seems to me he is all about high-level competition. Could there be more to this than just grabbing a ready-made quarterback, which Riley Leonard is not?
Listen, we're paying this kid $2 million.
He better be ready-made, dude.
There's no more competition in college football. We're paying dudes to play. Come on, let's not do that. We're not down on Riley Leonard. We're just saying, for the program's sake, Marcus Freeman's tenure at Notre Dame, he's front loading unnecessarily on these expectations of winning the championship. It's not about Riley Leonard. It's about the 1-year quarterback transfer. That's what it's about. If that 1 year is not a generational talented kid, how is it any more beneficial and not hurting the program if he's not much better than what you already have? That's the only argument. How much better is he? Is he a championship better than the room? Is he 1 game, 2 games better? I find it hard for him to be so much better than what we have based on our schedule. Come on, if guys in our room can't win 9 to 10 games based on our schedule next year, what are we really saying? That's a bigger indictment on Marcus Freeman. Because I don't want to hear none of this, oh, Marcus Freeman this, Marcus Freeman that, Riley Leonard this, Riley Leonard that. If the season isn't undefeated expected, what we're supposed to do, it's just too easy to place the blame on Marcus Freeman making a move like this when he doesn't have to. If he rides in there with the guys he has in the room, brings in a solid walk-on to handle the walk-on duties and get the scout team ready, I think that advances the team further than what he's doing right now. And that's just my opinion.
I think you did a good job of clarifying that. And nobody's down on Riley Leonard, man. Y'all have to listen to what's being said, dude. Everything is not black and white. And just because somebody doesn't have pom-poms when it comes to Riley Leonard, that doesn't make them down on Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard, if he's not a championship quarterback next year, he failed at Notre Dame. That's the unfortunate situation that he's walking into. He's being brought in to get to the playoffs and win a national championship. That's the expectations. And
Because
if he falls short,
yeah,
he falls short. If he falls short in 1 year, he didn't meet expectations. That's fair. He's brought here for 3 games. Texas A&M, Louisville in September, Florida State or USC, whichever one you want to choose.
And this is us thinking that maybe they're even games. Last year, we knew the 3 games. This year, that's just us giving the 3 games that might possibly be difficult. We don't know. Louisville could be trash next year.
Let me ask you a question, and everybody be honest. Did Notre Dame need Sam Hartman to beat USC this year?
No.
Be honest. Be honest. Did Notre Dame need Sam Hartman to beat Caleb Williams in USC this year?
Hell, we didn't need Sam to beat Ohio State the way we was playing. The way we played, we didn't need Sam Hartman either. If anything, Sam Hartman damn near hurt us in that game.
So it's like, dude, be honest about the talent that exists at Notre Dame to compete with teams. And the problem is your quarterback has to be a difference maker. And there's no one including us, that can guarantee that Riley Leonard is that difference maker.
Over the guys we have.
Guarantee that.
Over the
There
guys
is
we
no
have.
guarantee. And the guys in the room aren't a guarantee. That's the
Exactly.
point. There are no guarantees. Either way.
It's a first time guy this year and next year. That's the
There's
guarantee.
no guarantees. Especially as a 1 year. Especially as a 1 year. If he was here for 2 years, that's a different story. But no matter who the transfer quarterback was.
And I love the whole, what if we win one game in the playoffs more? How do you know going through a whole season with the guys we have in the room, they can't win one playoff game?
Look.
Come on.
Winning a playoff game next year would be a step forward for the program.
It would be absolutely. A step.
It would be a step forward. It would be a step forward.
But I guarantee you that the win wouldn't come based on us getting Riley Leonard. The win gonna come because we have a better team and we play better. I don't think it's gonna be solely based on us getting one guy, especially a guy that's unknown as much as the guys we got in the room.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree with the chat. Like, yo, Mike Denbrock does make the situation much better, in my opinion.
But we've seen Mike Denbrock with a 1 year guy. It looked better the second year he had him.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So we've already seen it. Yeah, Mike Denbrock can help, but he really can help in a 2 year process.
And it has nothing, once again, it has nothing to do with liking Riley Leonard. You're missing the point. Whoever you could go say is Malachi Nelson. If they had went out and got Malachi Nelson, if they had gotten the Childs that went to Michigan State, Cam Ward, whoever the 1 year quarterback that was coming in is unfortunate, the situation they're stepping into. Because none of them are difference makers like that. Or have a resume that says that they're difference makers like that. In big games. No one gives Notre Dame a guarantee. There is no quarterback in the transfer portal this year that gives Notre Dame a guarantee that in the big games, I'm going to be the difference maker. We have to see it.
Because if we were a 6-6 team, and we got Riley Leonard, okay, I'm super excited because we'll go from 6-6 to 9-4.
That's it.
But being a 6-win team, man, Riley Leonard is a huge benefit to Notre Dame. Being a 9-win, 10-win team already, and adding Riley Leonard, that's more pressure on him.
Oh man, I use the word unfair. I use the word unfair.
Yeah, it's only unfair if you didn't know what you was going into. Riley Leonard fully understands you're going to a team that has won more games than you ever have. Consistently. Notre Dame didn't go from a 5-5 1 year to a 6 and whatever to a no, we've been 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10. Riley Leonard ain't been 3 years consistently winning that many games. So he's like, damn. So my look, what am I impressing with? You can impress Duke because Duke is used to winning 5-6 games, Half the team want to play basketball because they jealous of the basketball players getting their girls and But come on,
ladies and gentlemen, Notre Dame, think about this. Notre Dame as a football program won 9 games with Drew Pine as a quarterback.
How do we know that?
Think about left. Just let
Tyler
that
Buchner should
marinate.
come back on the team if that's the case.
Just let that marinate, bro. Notre Dame as a football program won 9 games. 9 games with Drew Pine and Tyler Buchner as starters.
That's right.
9.
That's right.
And nobody believes either one. Both of them are out of football now.
Out of football.
Both of them just said, I'm walking away from football. I'm not good enough.
We should give Tyler.
Notre Dame won 9 games with those 2 quarterbacks, yo. What are we talking about? As a football program on an annual basis, Notre Dame could probably win 9 games with
me and you.
just about any quarterback in the country, man. What are we talking about? So yes, we don't need a quarterback to come in and continue the tradition of winning 9-10 games. We can do that.
We can do
you
that.
come here and you only have 1 year to do, that's a lot. It's bad enough that you're the quarterback at Notre Dame.
If we were Virginia and Sam Hartman came and won 9 games for us, we would.
Ron Tuck, hey, bro. Ron Tuck, I would love to see you run out the tunnel with the gold helmet, bro. I would love that. I would love that. I'm just saying, love.
So it's like we have proven we can turn 5 loaves and feed 500 people. 5 fish and turn it into a whole buffet for people. That's all we doing for Riley Leonard. We turn his little loaves to feeding the community. That's all we doing with Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard isn't coming with the dump truck of turkeys, handing them out for Thanksgiving. He ain't Frank Lucas. We making him better. So all I'm saying is that we should call Tyler Buchner back if Riley Leonard don't work out, because what's the difference between the two?
No. Now you're going too far. Lucky Lefty podcast. No. Tyler can, man. Hey, Tyler's going to help us double up and win 2 championships in a row as a lacrosse squad. That's his call. That's what I see. Thank you for the question, ND Milton fan. Do you see a future where bowl games are only played by second string and starters, not leaving for the draft, sit out the game? I don't know where this thing is going left. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
They're gonna make it like season tournaments eventually, bowl games in the middle of the season.
Like, I understand opting out, but heck, it's your decision either way. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with kids making a decision. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, usually when you make a decision, you have a reason. And it has to be a good reason other than, oh, that's just what I want to do. If you're living your life off of that's just what I want to do, and you don't have sound reasoning, then and the reasoning doesn't have to line up with my reasoning, but you should still have sound reasoning for you. Guys just line it up because they don't like how things are going, or come on, man. We're going down a dangerous road. That's the way I feel about it. Southpaw 42. If Riley Leonard is the most efficient player on the offense side of the ball, how many wins do you see Notre Dame having next year? How you feel about that, Left?
It'll come down to, first of all, Riley Leonard isn't the best player on offense coming to Notre Dame. So him doing his job is going to come down to him having to make plays in the playoffs. That's it. We're not going to get an evaluation of Riley Leonard until the playoffs, when the game's on the line and it matters. Because we're going to depend on Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, the O-line, the tight ends. Everybody's going to have a hand in it. It's not going to matter until the game gets tight and we need to do something from our quarterback position to win. And that comes in moments. So over the span of time of the season, Riley Leonard's going to play good. He's going to play good for 85 to 90% of the season because we have a good team, good coaching staff. Riley is better than average. But we're talking about winning the whole thing. Can he do that? Better than what we have now. And I can't give you an exact answer, but I doubt it, which is why it's like, even if he plays well, we're going to win the same amount of games with the guy that we have now. Even if he plays well, because he's just going to be doing his job. All right, throw the open goal route. All right, hand the ball off. All right, we need to run in for 3 yards, get a touchdown. It's like he's going to do his job because that's what he's there to do. But when it's beyond coaching, when we playing a team that we're not supposed to beat, that's where Riley Leonard got to be injected, and that's where he's got to make the difference.
Yeah.
And that's just
GTD, I got Mark with glasses says, how many dunks does Malik throw down on that little hoop he got?
Yeah, Ball is Life, mixtape, all of that. Yeah, and one. Everything we see on the games from the Lakers playing, we try to do it.
Remember NBA Live integrated the dunk contest? Oh, Lord. And you would spend hours trying to complete a dunk. It was the worst thing ever, man. John Massey. Who has the higher ceiling, CJ Carr or Kenny Minchie?
Kenny, because I think CJ is just about as good as he's going to get. CJ Carr to me is like Matt Ryan. He does everything you want. Got all the technique in the world. But is Matt Ryan really talented for real? Or he's just an overachiever? Like, is CJ Carr really elitely talented? Or is he just an overachiever? Which is still good. I like overachievers. He does his job, works hard. Maybe not an overachiever. What you call that? A hard worker. What's an over hard worker?
You're making up words on the fly now.
I mean, just an overachiever. He gonna do everything and go beyond But is he supremely talented? I think Kenny is more talented. But I think CJ knows how the game go. Like, for instance,
so you think so CJ would be Sonny Corleone, and then Kenny has the chance to be Michael Corleone.
Right.
Right?
CJ knows how it goes.
Upside as a businessman was like ridiculous, but Sonny was pure gangster. And that's who he was. He was just going to be a gangster. That's who he was. That's eventually what got him killed. He couldn't outthink the opposition. But you think that Kenny has an opportunity to be Michael Corleone?
Kenny has a potential in what he got going on around him to pop bigger than what CJ's pop could be.
Mm-hmm.
CJ's got all the...
Oh, he's an All-American. Looks. He has a chance to be a superstar. Oh, he has a chance to be a superstar at Notre Dame.
But his talent as a standalone,
yeah,
I don't think it's better than Kenny's. But CJ knows how to get there, knows what it looks like, knows how to study, got good references outside of the school to talk to. He's like the parent that had two doctors as parents. I mean, he's like the kid that has two doctors as parents. He just gonna know how to be a doctor.
Right.
He just gonna know the language, the terminology. He may not be the best doctor in the world, but he know how to fit in with doctors. He probably get a jump start, get a jump start a little earlier. Get the tips and the tricks to the trade of the MCAT. Probably don't have to work as hard because it comes more natural to him. I think that's CJ.
I got you.
Kenny's
Ryan
more like
Loftus.
this. He gonna pop.
What game plan do you anticipate Gino running? Don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, this is not
like real talk.
Yeah, we're not out here recreating.
He's not auditioning. He's the quarterback coach, so he doesn't have to get super creative.
He's here to steer the ship into the dock. Just get us home. Don't start, trying to one hand the steering wheel and do it all. Make this about you. You know what we do on offense. You know who our best players are. Don't embarrass Steve Angeli out here trying to make him look like Peyton Manning. Let's go in here, manage the game, rely on our defense, play field position. And then when you get close, then you can go a little crazy. Like, 20 in, could try some things with Steve, Let him run the football a little bit. Low impact. You know what I mean? Give me a low impact game. It may
like
not
you
be
said,
you know what I'm saying? It may not be a bunch of down the field, but hey, we 5-10, build some drives, feel good, build his confidence a little bit, take a shot here and there.
turnover, get a short field.
Yeah, get a short
Take
field.
shots.
Try to.
Yeah.
It's a nice cup of coffee. Man, gonna be. He might have 22 to 24 pass attempts at the end of the game. Heavy run. 22, 24 pass attempts is good for Steve in his first start.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have an impact, but it won't be the impact of the game.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't turn it over. So I'm predicting he'll go 16 for 22, 210 yards, touchdown and a pick. That's a good day. That's a good day. Low impact.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Gino just needs to chill like he has a Ford Fiesta, both hands on the steering wheel, right? What do they say? 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, both hands on the steering wheel. Don't act like you in a deuce and a quarter or a broham. You know what I mean? You don't need to be with the gangster lean and all that. Nah.
Take the dice out the rear view. You don't need that.
Right. That's right.
It ain't that type of drive. No, it's
Right. Or the fuzzy foxtail out the window. Yeah.
We just driving to the grocery store and driving home.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. Ryan lost this last one. What are your thoughts on Nick Scourton, the edge player from Purdue who entered the portal? That could be a nice pickup if Notre Dame pursues him. Brian Walters, by the way, is doing a really nice job with the defensive backs he's picking up in the portal. I expect him to come in and play Notre Dame tough because he wants that man-to-man defense that he played at Illinois. And he's picked up some really nice defensive backs in the portal. So he's looking to be able to come in with his defense next year and dictate with man-to-man the way he did at Illinois that last year before he got the head coaching job. So that Purdue game is going to be very interesting to watch Riley Leonard and the offense go up against man-to-man coverage the majority of the day. But yeah, go ahead, Left. I mean, any thoughts on Nick Scourton?
I think if he's fitting the weight requirements of us looking more intimidating, then we should get him.
Oh, man. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. All right, Left. Getting ready to get out of here. The chat has been wonderful today. As I said before, you guys are tripping a little bit with that medium rare, but it is what it is, man. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story today brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com, the premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. Anybody you got on the petty train before I play this Cam Newton clip and put Debo Samuel on the petty train?
No, I think you got it, though. I think that's the right one.
Let's see. Did I get the right video? Let me see.
Football to be.
I'm sorry. That is the absolutely wrong video. But basically, Debo Samuel on the petty train. Cam Newton came out and posted a video saying that, look, man, we got to do a better job of putting blame on these organizations for ruining quarterbacks. And basically said, yo, we have to make sure that these quarterbacks are put in positions to succeed. And if you're not doing that and you waste the talent, is that on the young man or is that on the organization? And once again, I point out the Chicago Bears have not had a developed quarterback since Jim McMahon, bro. And that within itself is honestly a disgrace, man, as an organization. And so they sit here. Here it is. Here's the clip. Let me show it, Left.
Motherfucker, I belong here.
Facts.
And what a scary moment for the Justin Fields to feel that way. Bryce Young to feel that way. We've seen CJ Stroud feel that way.
Yeah.
When you got a quarterback, Jared Goff, Tua, Brock, when guys really start feeling themselves and say, I belong here, that's where they get better.
Yeah.
For every quarterback that we've felt or seen come into their own right before our eyes, there's other quarterbacks that we've seen shrink.
Yeah.
Because of bad development, bad coaching, bad management.
And they never feel like they belong.
Bad person. They never feel like they belong. So when I see this is a perfect situation where I'm saying start holding these front office people accountable to developing these players the right way.
Left, we can spin this into like the quarterback room in Notre Dame. Like, when did you feel like you belonged at Notre Dame?
I just felt like they were always disrespecting me, and that, you know, anytime they get us the chance to play, I'm gonna just have to show them they on that Jake Browning. You should never cut me. Should never had that disrespect, because that's all it is. That's why guys at Notre Dame quarterback room either leave a success or leave really jaded. Ron Powers is a jaded man. He didn't come back to Notre Dame for years until the only reason why he came back because of his son. Hell, Ev's jaded. Deshaun don't even want to play football. You know, he want to be Mark Zuckerberg. He's so far removed from football, you would have thought he hated it. Brandon's jaded. You know, we talked to Brandon on the interview. He damn near wanted to go crazy when we talked about his time. You know, so it's a jaded thing. Either you leave jaded or you leave like an Ian Book. You know, the best thing that can ever happen to you. You know, so that's the double-edged sword of Notre Dame room. It is what it is. But we know that Jimmy Clausen's jaded. If you're thinking about it, I mean, he left jaded. So
yeah,
you either leave like Ian and Brady Quinn, or you're jaded like the rest of them. Gunner was jaded, didn't even get started. He was left jaded.
Right.
So it ain't too many ways you can go. Hell, both the last two QBs we had both quit. Think about that. When the last time you heard both starting quarterbacks of the same team that had success? It wasn't like we sucked on some Barry Sanders and you quit because we sucked. We were good. And both of y'all, and within 1 year of leaving, quit the game completely. Drew don't even want to play football no more. He want to be a student. Hell, Tyler so jaded, he went to a different sport. He said, let me try this. If this ain't working, let me try. He wasn't a Charlie Ward of Notre Dame, where he can go to the league in both sports. He quit one to play another. So Notre Dame, that's just a gift and a curse, man. You leave jaded or you leave a hero.
So when do you get that moment? When does Kenny and when does CJ get that moment, or even Steve Angeli? He has an opportunity on Friday, but when do you get that moment in Notre Dame where you feel like, okay, I belong? Can it happen on the practice field, or does it have to happen during the game?
It has to happen in a game because practice can fool you.
Okay.
You know, you can have some success in practice and it not translate, or, you know, I think for me it happened when I got in that USC game and me and Greg was making it look easy. That's when I knew that I believed, because I already believed in myself at that time. I just couldn't put pen to paper, you know. And when I put the pen to paper and saw I could do some things, you know, it made all the better. So for Steve, this is his moment, you know. There's nothing really to look forward to and nothing to look behind you. You got the moment to live in and prove to yourself that you belong in a game set up for you to. It could go either way.
Right.
It could go. Right. You can leave being jaded, you know, or you can have some success and be like, well, damn, they just didn't give me enough of a shot. You know what I mean? So I think Steve is got everything to gain and nothing to lose, really.
It is yo, that's funny. So Debo Samuel, you know, you guys tell me if you can hear this audio. I'm going to play Debo Samuel on NFL Network on the Up and Adams show or the Up and Adams podcast. And this is what he had to say about Cam Newton's comments about his quarterback.
Yeah, what did he say? Was it crazy, egregious, or what?
Man, I'm sorry for that technical difficulty, but basically, let me see if I can hear this dude. Because he took a shot at Cam, but then he took a shot at Michael Parsons, and it was like, yo, what?
I can go for some NFL beefing.
Look, man, Debo, look, I understand, Left. Like, I understand. I didn't hear. Like, he was upset with Cam Newton. He was upset with Michael Parsons taking shots at Brock Purdy. I think we saw on Monday night full display on what a franchise quarterback is and a game changer, what a game manager is.
Absolutely.
It was on full display. If you want to sit up here and you want to cape for Brock Purdy, that's fine.
Because what did he say?
So being upset about Cam Newton and then trying to throw Cam Newton under the bus, like stop calling my phone and stop texting me. You wanted me on you wanted me on your podcast. What does that have to do with
that's what that got to do with anything? Of course, he's a journalist now. He's trying to get you, man. That's lame.
Dude, that's corny. You're on the petty train, and then to go after Michael Parsons was petty for saying something because, like you said, yo, we scraped y'all. Like Brock put up 40 on you all, so you need to relax.
But we know Brock is a product of a system, man. Like,
we know that. We know that. Nick Mullins has been successful in the system.
Yeah, these no-name overachieving backups. I'm telling you.
Dude, if we had plenty of quarterbacks,
come on, bro. Like
successful in that system, and it's okay. And I have no problem giving Brock Purdy 2 to 3 years to see what he can do. If he can back up this year,
an Easton Stick, a Jake Browning, these professional dodgeball. I call them recess All-American.
We also saw when Trent Williams leaves that lineup like he did, you saw Jadeveon Clowney have a field day.
Easily. It's like, come on, like, why are we doing this? These Will Levis, Kenny Pickett, wannabe, you know, these guys are. I'm just glad the NFL, the cream rises to the top. All these, that's right, Tyson Bagels and Tyson Bagels and all these Easton Sticks out here. I mean, you make
Chicago media was really trying to make a case for him being the starting quarterback for the Bears.
And it's crazy how it disappeared so fast. It disappeared quick. It was like the pandemic. It came and went. You thought it was the Tyson Bagel, Tyson Chicken Finger show, and end up being another wannabe. These backups are making the NFL look real suspicious because you're wondering how the talent drop off happens so fast. And even hires like the Chargers head coach. How did Charger head coach go from coaching Pee-wee football to being a DC at a D3 school for 1 year? You the head coach of the Chargers? Come on, man. Something ain't right. But I tell you one thing. Shout out Joe Flacco, man. Flacco's still riding that.
Joe Flacco was balling.
Make it work.
Balling.
They should have never took Zach Wilson over that brother, man.
If Joe Flacco was on the Jets, they might actually be in a playoff hunt.
Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Yo, great show. Lucky podcast. Oh, man. Tomorrow we give our prediction show, Left. Oregon State missing a lot defensively. Both of the starting linebackers, the starting defensive back. It's going to be interesting, man. The wide receiver should be able to get loose against backups, right, Left?
I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, you didn't give me the confidence I was hoping.
Well, Jordan Faison, he's looking like a bright spot on the team, so I feel like he should.
Oh, heck, the clips they're putting out, yeah.
Yeah, I think if I had to put my money on any receiver, it's Jordan Faison.
Lucky podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and then we look to have a show for you to end the year on Saturday, and then post game. Friday night should be fun. Lucky podcast.
You can do the Russell Wilson take real quick. I think Russell Wilson is going.
Oh, I forgot he got benched for Jarrett Stidham, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think he's going through an ego thing, man. Going through an ego thing, so that's why your game always got to evolve. You can't rest on laurels for too long because people get real forgetful in an industry like that.
Yep, I agree. Hey, have a great day, guys. Make sure you spend it different.